like, share, subscribe, okay? Um, we, I was summoned to go in here and drop this message, right? So as doing my stuff, and you want to know what was crazy? And I don't even really care for this person. I only knew him from my unit, and I only would really see him doing PT, or if he came into the S shop during aviation. And I kept seeing physical therapists, and then I seen Belize. He was darker than me, and he was from Belize. He used to hang out with Sarin Johnson, who was the NCO in charge at that time, because it even came to a point where there was an issue with two females in this unit. So someone must have went to Fort Carson to talk to someone. Okay. Now, I know who are all the little KKK racists, secretly racist, but it came out of them to show and prove. Now, it was one warrant officer that we had in our shop that we got, and he was Irish or whatever. My wife looked better. She got a flat hiney, da 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 da. He would tell you straight up to his face that he did not like people of color. He did not even like the first orange due to the fact that he was Italian, right? The first one had an issue with me because I was so honest. I remember one time he came into the shop because he realized a lot of people would kiss his tail, and it was not one of me. So at that moment where I was mentioning like Captain Summer, First Sergeant Osworthy, uh, Captain, what's her name? That got married to the warrant officer out there. And that Sergeant Captain Carey, whatever her other name is, right? Now, Song Pride, out of all the units from when I was in Delta at Fort Campbell, that motherfucker was racist. You could not convince me. You could not tell me otherwise, right? And then it was the Jamaican NCO. I think it was like Brown or something like that. He stayed like 3 or 4 houses down from James, auntie, Bebe, over there off of Blue Bonnet. Okay? So this is how I know all of this is happening. This is how I know that regardless of what kind of work that they were doing to like take me off of what it was that I was thinking on, because it was one thing that I was missing, and someone was just like, sure, get up, go do what you gotta go do. After you get done doing what you gotta go do. I didn't have no real plans to working out, but one thing for sure, two things for sure. Anybody that really know me, I love working out. That is my source. That is my outlet. That's my bread and butter. That's my happiness. That's my happy space, right? So in order for anybody to be able to attack me, they have to know exactly what it is that I like, right? And those have to be the people that were like genuinely so close to me, right? So the only people that was very close, and I was like, damn, they low key did hit me at all my spots. But for one, it was like, stop exercising, I stopped reading, I stopped writing, school, stopping and going. Because it was like yesterday, it was just like, why are you eating so much? You don't even eat like this. And I'm waking up with my stomach. I was like, girl, you know better. So it was like they sent like an emotional eating monster, right? So this was even still since Fort Campbell down when I got to Fort Carson, baby, beast mode. If beast mode was a beast, baby, it's me. The song first class, whatever her name is, I want to say she was like German, but she was white. But I had like an inkling that she had ties to the Parhams, some shape, form, fashion, right? But she would show her pure hatred like everybody else. Adams was there, Crawford was there, Johnson, it was me, and then it was somebody else. Uh, I think it was Barrios, because he loved coming to the S shop. Or I'll go to QC all the time. For some reason, everybody used to love me to come to QC. They used to love for me to come to the meetings. Shit, every warrant officer, anybody on the base, whenever it came to doing anything in the S shop, I was more of that soldier that you would find in the meetings where most soldiers don't ever, or is not ever really allowed to come in there. The NCO or the warrant officer would bring back what it is that we needed to know. Whoever it was, because I know if y'all gave this to Shaquetta Love or whoever it was that got picked over this situation, y'all discover right now, like, they really lazy. They really try to give other people this. Then I'm sitting here, I was like, why would I be mentioning Sharo? Sharo was in, computers and comms and stuff like that. And I'm just like, Shrita, why is your military folks all up in your energy? Because I'm like, damn, why would Fort Campbell, Fort Carson come up to me, right? Then this morning, as I'm going out to go check the mailbox, I see somebody in uniform. I was like, you know what? The space base is not far from me, which means like I would have access to that. But this was the thing. If people ask the right people who did work with me, I forgot that black captain. I think her name was Campbell or something like that. She was one of our NCOs when I was on Rear D. It was two NCOs. One of them, she was a new one that had came in, and she just, I remember she wasn't expecting to get pregnant. When she got pregnant, baby, she was ready to have a breakdown. And the only reason why she didn't have a breakdown because I want to say around her fifth or sixth month, the baby daddy left. They got into it real bad. So she ended up having to go through that pregnancy by herself. And instead of her having to withhold the, the embarrassment and stuff like that, I want to say after she had the baby, she left the unit or whatever. And we was left with the black captain. Then it was RNC, me, Warrant Mew, Sergeant, what's his name? Stewart, because he was the Marine that transferred over to the Army or whatever. So, and then Valera, me and Captain Valera always stayed in contact, even when she left to go to Georgia and stuff like that. So, when all of this is going on, that's why I was like, anybody trying to create to make it seem like I'm going crazy or whatever, the real people that know me and that had worked with me know for a fact that, and I guarantee y'all spoke to Amanda Valera, and she sat there and told y'all she's super intelligent. I don't know what you guys saying. She was also the one that, if I had needed help when it came to me doing schoolwork or whatever, and she will be an amazing, like, she can write, but I would, reach out to her. She'll just give me like the corrections of what I needed to do whenever it came to me, writing papers and stuff like that, which I loved her for that. And then when it came to my son, because of her daughter Fallon, that's where Peyton came from. All this shit makes sense. Peyton from Affinity Hair Academy, it makes sense. That's why when it came to Drew, when it came to Jeremy, everybody makes complete sense to me. Ayala, I was deployed with him when we was in Afghanistan. I just didn't remember his face until I went to his Instagram profile. I was like, damn, I was deployed with him, which he had ties to one dude who was confused whenever I had my son. It was either when I had my son or when it was either between Marcus or Soraya. And I remember him looking at me whenever he seen me pregnant because it was a Spanish restaurant out in Fort Campbell off of 41, off of Tiny Town, that when I say it had the que rico, the food was awesome. Like, that was the only place that we would go. If I needed my Spanish food fixed, that was my place right there. So I remember him seeing me when I was pregnant. Like, I seen him in Afghanistan. We saw each other again when we went to, they had like a festival that day. And I remember him looking at me, and he was so curious, but he was like, nah, it can't be me, because me and him use protection all the time. But trust and believe me, they don't forget. So with all of this being said, the only way that for you to get close, Tamisha, Veronica, who else? For a little bit, you could have had Staten, aka Sample. So Andre Sample. Who else? In order for the fitness aspect to come in, that's where Angela, and then the girl she ended up breaking up with, Jasmine, who came to my home with the dreadhead boyfriend, where they did their fitness. She did her fitness competitions and shit like that. Like, somebody is like, God damn it, what? Somebody banked on me saying she's going to get it. I don't know why. It might take her a second to process it. And it took for Amanda to point it out to you. Yes, she's on that. She figured that out a long time ago, but she also didn't know for sure, because it was like, well, how did she know? And then she's realizing, like, you're not going to recognize who you are unless you can recognize what it is, because I was the one that had like alerted her to look into it when it came to Fallon. And I really hope baby girl is doing so great. Also, another person would have been that we had constant contact with was Mayfield. Okay, Mayfield, her baby daddy. She will get into some bullshit every now and again, but it came to a point where she was just like, oh my gosh, I really love her. But then it was like, when it came to baby girls folks, that's where that little hatred come in and stuff like that. Dakota, Booth, okay? Booth and Ashley, okay? Booth and Ashley. Ashley don't listen. To this day, you ain't gonna convince me otherwise. Lily and little Dakota, little Booth, his baby boy, Zach, them my babies. Them, anybody that had kids around me and I love them, they know for a fucking fact that's what, hey, her weakness could be the kids, but she ain't gonna play that bullshit with you. If she gotta cut you off, she gonna cut you off. For somebody, y'all finally getting into the ears. With Arlene Soren Williams, I think she may have went back to her original last name, and then she ended up, marrying while she was out there in Texas with Cindy. Now, Cindy, I don't know what was your issue, honey. I do not want Arlene. Arlene, no, I don't swing that way, even though it gets interested. And she will always talk about it, her and Julia, when they was together, even down to Lewis Williams. All of them would sit there and love and admire it, okay? But what they would tell you is not ever been any type of judgment. Now, for someone to pull like, oh, she's bipolar, she's this or whatever, April Thompson, I don't know why you had got so triggered by some of the shit I was saying. If you know you was on that bullshit, you was just on that bullshit, because when it comes to certain people moving around and stuff like that, I already know the rules to the game. So when it came to Thompson, when it came to everybody going all the way over to now y'all having to ask people at Fort Carson people didn't really know me. Me and Adams would talk only when we was in the office. Adams had connections when it came to James, and then wherever that situation went, however it goes. Soren Johnson, reason being why he would sit there and be wanting to vouch for me and go ahead and route for me, because when him and his wife had that first little baby, I want to say the baby needed to be on like a ventilator or some oxygen or whatever, and I was the one to give him that information to make sure that he got everything, the EFMP and all this other, resources to make sure that his kid was okay. So outside of anybody going there, Barrios, I want to say his last name was Barrios or something like that, because he had just recently got married and came in. So it's just like, how can she just figure, baby, it ain't no figuring it out. So just go ahead and just run me my shit. Go ahead and redo my clearance again and bring me on in, because I wouldn't mind, but y'all gonna go ahead and keep the two payments that I got there, and y'all gonna go ahead and add me on triple what I'm making right there. That right there is reasonable. That right there is fair. Honestly, I feel like it should be way more than that. And then on top of whatever y'all had found that these people had did and kept away, and I should still be able to get my compensation from even before I came in. So someone may have felt like she's not going to figure this shit out. You want to know what it took? A simple fucking workout. I only needed to do 10 minutes. So physical therapist, the dude from Belize, baby, he always gave me that fucking inkling that he knew something, but he wasn't saying nothing. But it would be like he'll come in and do like some weird teasing, like, yeah, I'm going into the industry. So associates, whenever it came to like physical medicine and stuff like that. Then when it came to the surgery that I was supposed to have, which I knew that it was something going on, because my provider of OBGYN, when I got out in 2016, I had baby James June. It was the blood work from prior. So before I left from Campbell, and I remember it was like some bleeding that I had. And with the over access and bleeding, they had to run like some kind of excessive testing then. So from then, Campbell knew prior to me leaving with the court case that I had going on with my son, which when I know for a fact that they knew it was a countersuit that I was entitled to, but it was also money on top of that. This is why I know, give me my papers when it comes to these Parhams, James and Taylors. They've been heavy in this shit on top of, they only was able to get the assist and get the right instructions from Sheila and Patrick, which caused the divide for me to not talk with the rest of the family from when I was in Afghanistan. That's 2010 to 2012. And in that instance, that's where they took that opportunity to do this, because like I said, I knew for a fact that's when the gaslighting took place after I came. Well, the gaslighting was happening way before then. You supposed to have battle buddies when you was down range. I had nobody. They would make sure that I was alone just to pull like, well, let's see if they really are protected. That's why I was like, Colonel Blackman. And then the other sergeant major that we had right before we disbanded, I want to say he was with Rocket Sign and he was never really around me. And I want to say when he did see me, he only see me that time. But I had more connection in working with Colonel Blackman with his damn atypical cool ass. It was a cool ass motherfucker colonel. You fucking ass me. That motherfucker cool to the beach, okay? We had Lieutenant Colonel Bumby. I used to work close with him. He used to love it. He used to want me to go up there to fucking division to work with him. So it's just like for people to sit here and try to play certain things and they just like, they probably was just looking at them like, damn, look at how she changed, but she still is able to do this. Yes, it might require for me to do this, but you know, it led to y'all even talking to people from pregnancy PT, so which led me to Brittany Tyus Glover. So it was just like, well, how did you know her? I knew Tyus from pregnancy PT, okay? Who else? Who else? It's so many Ethios and people like this. This is how, like, whatever y'all trying to do in the energy or dealing with an entity, y'all know for a fucking fact that there's no playing with me, playing with my intuition when it comes to certain things. The hypnosis for them to be able to keep me at bay when they carried Christian Rodriguez. She was the first sergeant at that time, a first real D 2009. Sergeant Stephan. I remember running into him in Orlando when I had came back. That was like a long time ago. I ran into him to at the gas station or whatever. The handshake was his way of going ahead and be able to solidify during that time. But that also had allowed me to know because I was like, well, Sergeant Tobin, he was also out there in Orlando. Who else? David from my Diaz, that's his name. Diaz is Cuban, man. Diaz, his ass couldn't stop cheating on his wife for the fucking life of him. I would not care if you had put Jesus in front of that man and say, Diaz, quit cheating on your wife. That Diaz was a motherfucker. But one thing for sure, Diaz was honest with everybody else. And he was like, shit, that's my wife. I love her, but I just can't stop cheating her, but I love her. But it's like, it's too many times where people can sit here and try to play with stuff and people understand at the same time. When it comes to me and it comes to certain situations, I was like, Tolliver was my favorite. That was my female version of my little boy, okay? And she was straight over me, girl, I like you, whatever. And once she realized I wasn't going, I was always so supportive of her and her endeavors and stuff like that. But trying to pull the wool over my eyes was the stupidest thing that a lot of people can do, even down to when it comes to hoodoo, voodoo. That's the stupidest shit that you can ever come down to, because there was one thing for sure, two things for certain. I was like, Haiti. And I was like, okay, well, the main Haitian person for Jasmine was her dad and then her mom, Tony. So I'm just like, damn, where's all these motherfuckers? These are vets. These are military ties. But I was picking up on, they betting on you. But then it was also, they betted against you. They betted against you because someone may have thought for a second that I was against them. And I'm like, how the fuck would I be against you? First of all, when it comes to you, Jasmine Sample, I would not ever look at Andre in that way. Andre know that, and Andre knew that day that I closed down that page and that access to him to alleviate from him to even think that he was going to even play that shit that he played. Now, granted, have I always known that man was interested? Of course, but I will not ever cross that line. I don't care who I have to shut down and how long I fucking knew you, out of respect for your marriage, so your marriage can be okay, because I know I can be a temptation to a lot of people. I will shut that shit down before I ever let you cross that line, out of respect for the both of you, out of the respect for that marriage, and out of the respect for that fucking family. Now, what they choose to do outside of that ain't got shit to do with me. And y'all should know me way fucking better to sit here and run your mouth, because whoever did it, I know you're gonna be fucking shamed and embarrassed to ever fucking face me and look me dead in my eyes to say that you said some dumb shit like that. She'll sleep with anybody, she'll mess with anybody. And for anybody to fall for the okie doke with James and everybody else, you've been the dumbest motherfucker. And I understand now why a lot of people been scared to not speak the fuck up. And it makes complete sense to me. I would be scared too, especially if I thought and fell into the fucking okie doke. Arlene Williams, know for a fucking fact, I wouldn't just cut her off or nothing. And I love that Lean Bean was with me when I was doing my motherfucking delivery. That was the only solid motherfucker outside of, I can't say that for what's her name? Hernandez. I can't say that for Love when she was there. Love Hernandez was there when I delivered Soraya, and Shaquetta Love, her name was Love at that time, was there when I delivered Marcus. Okay. Then you have Mesa. You have all these people. Like, it's so many people that's been in this energy that instead of you minding your motherfucking business, and then y'all over here fucking with my content, fucking with my TikTok and all this shit, you stupid as fuck. And now you sit here looking like, I can't believe I participated. I know you can't believe it too. But for y'all to not figure out, like, I might have fucking autism, motherfucker, and it might take me some time. It does not make me fucking slow. Slow to process some shit, but when I process that shit, you know, and I peep game, or you trust and believe, you better stay out of my motherfucking pathway. Stay fucking far away unless you coming back to apologize with some goddamn common sense. Because the black captain that we had, she was the light-skinned motherfucker, like, yeah, because my hair and my husband, and you know, after I had my baby, like, she was, because she was able to get, you know, in shape after she had her kid. But mind you, she only had 2 kids or whatever. But I remember she would bring certain things, and it was those caramel candies with the feeling that would sometimes be candy apple. She knows exactly who I'm talking about. Sharon C know exactly who I'm talking about. So that's why I'm just sitting here like, how dare you guys? All this shit is hitting my head as I'm doing this work. I'm getting woke up at 4:32 in the morning. I'm sitting here like, sugar, why are you wide awake? Why are you having to address people about Orishas? These are people, how are you doing hoodoo and voodoo and you do not believe me? That's the stupidest thing ever. And you're doing it towards a black person, but you don't like black people. That means to say that you don't even believe in your art or your craft. And it's like, well, why is it not hitting her? Why is it not attacking her? Also, the biggest part of it is someone convinced another person, well, if she gain weight or if you have kids with her, she's guaranteed to stay with you. If you make her gain weight, it's going to make her lose her self-esteem. If you do this, it's going to cause her to lose her desire to do this. This is like all these people getting coached by the wrong motherfuckers, because guess what? They only catching you, like coaching you and getting you to do the dirt that they need you to do for them. They're feeding off of y'all energy. Sheila Patrick and whoever else that they had got you involved into that's supposed to be relatives, the only way that they can get that to work, that they have to prove the fact that they are blood related to it, right? And then I remember they said JAG, aka Michelle Adams, right? And then Didi already do the pastoring and stuff like that, but Didi didn't want to accept the fact that her husband been sleeping with the people out in the congregation, same sex to be in particular, but were the ones that they used. That's why it used to try to do the prophecy like they were the real prophets. Like, no, not even our Indian ancestors even fuck with y'all. None of y'all. Like, at this point, for y'all to go carry this shit on for 36 years, the okie doke and the pawn side, please. And then it was like, I was a little bit disappointed. It kind of hurt my heart because I was like, damn, Stephanie August, why you doing me like that? Because I fucked with you. But you had to just tell me, and it's just like, she was trying to tell me without telling me, but it's like, I don't want to jeopardize because I need the money. But it's just like, all you had to do was just say that at the beginning. But then it was just like, when it came to, so when they entered the building, I was able to pick up, I have been picking up on Sarah Ann, but the thing of it is, when it came to Sarah Ann and her sister, they folks, which is our ties to Puerto Rico and stuff like that, our family, our black and our Indian black Puerto Rican family from Puerto Rico, all of that shit just started to make sense. I was just like, all of this for fucking money. And all this shit got even heavier around the time Aunt May passed away. And then while I'm sitting here looking into it, because it was like, well, who is my real relatives? Because clearly it's not Sheila. But then it was just like, well, then that means I'm proving Georgetta did some fuck shit when it came to like Sarah Ann and them, or Sarah and them. It's the other sister and them that's sitting there like, wait a minute. So you are the one. It's like, yeah, I'm her. I'm the one that has been under a whole alias, because I remember Georgetta pulling out like, yeah, I had a friend named Darshell, and I just had to go ahead and how Georgetta would lie and stuff like that. I knew when she lying. I knew when the story was made up, because Carla had this habit from Carla, hence the dark skin, but also hence, like, that situation all in the family. And then it's like, didn't you just get an ostomy? Then you just have to get a bag for your stomach. Then you just have to get this. And then it was just like with Georgetta holding all this shit. So that's why I'm like, all my ties to the military was way before me getting into the fucking military. So me knowing about military life, how it moved, also the underhanded behavior for the military, baby, corruption. I know corruption before it even fucking happened. I know who gonna do it, how they gonna do it, what way they gonna do it. And then if they approach themselves into my presence, I know what kind of people they will hire, even down to you could stay in your own unit, right? Your own home. Even when you was off base and you thinking you got privacy, your privacy wasn't your privacy. Trust and believe there was either federal workers or, which, you know, depending on what part in your rank in the military, you are now a federal worker, depending on what type of clearance you had. So me knowing where they could set federal people, governmental people, and if you have military ties, which is a protected unit, they will have people around you. So it's just like, I want to just meet whoever it was that felt that this was the brightest idea to do this stupidest shit, because it's like, if my corruption level will outrank anything that you're doing locally. I don't give a fuck about you being a sheriff, a mayor. I will outrank you any fucking day about what the fuck you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, who you're gonna say, who you're capable of hiring, and what low grace, aka churches or facilities down to banks that you will utilize, and how you get access to it. Now someone is like, shit, you should have repented when I had said this about 10 months ago. So now you're trying to delay it so she don't get that full whatever it is that you took until 2026. That don't make sense. And then it's like you want to go back and plead your innocence, because whoever you about to try to go back to this court case with, I'm seeing the judge sitting there like, I can't even make a fucking move. It's going to be some people that's going to do some dumb shit. I don't give a fuck if you go to Clarksville, Montgomery County, Orange motherfucking County, Florida, Texas motherfucking county. You can go to fucking Fort Knox for all I give a shit. I'm going to tell you right now, even them judges on a higher level, which they already got they got a courtesy call. Now, what they have been choosing to do in between, meaning anybody that has been coming to Montgomery County, Clarksville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Memphis, and so the state of Tennessee, the state of Florida, Texas, Colorado, Hawaii, New York, and Kentucky, not to mention Nevada, you have a problem. Even down to fucking Arizona, you will have a problem. I guarantee you. Anybody doing something since April 27th, and you've been getting, I'm going to get this warrant to go do this. I don't give a fuck if you was Pastor Paula White, Kane, whatever the fuck she want to call her name. I don't give a fuck if you work with that bitch. That bitch going right down with the rest of you. I guarantee you. For something that y'all did to me when I was in high school, I guarantee you, because guess what? Someone didn't do their due diligence. You really did JRTC. Yes, I did a JRTC via Air Force, okay? I was intentionally trying to go to the Marine, and I remember the Marine said, it was because your hips. No, the Marines knew not to take me, because at that point, if I had got Marine training, y'all knew this is like the Terminator, okay? Okay? That's why I understood why he was saying that. He used the excuse is saying like, be your hips. No, Marines have rejected me due to the simple fact because they knew for a fact if I went on ahead and did the Marines, they would have had a machine. And they know with this machine now why the Marines, I guarantee you got a whole bunch of motherfucking Marines looking at me like now, like, God damn, if she did. And they sitting there probably nodding their head like, I can guarantee you and I can bet my motherfucking dollar, Mike, who was the person that was at Affinity Hair Academy, which y'all sent him in to go ahead and do clear observance because that was one of his jobs. And for him to sit there and go look at it, right? I can guarantee you and I can bet my money on Mike. And ma'am, quit fussing with your goddamn husband because it ain't even like that. He might be interested in that. Y'all both might be, but baby, I know I'm cute, but y'all couldn't afford me. And he know that. But he know at the same time, when it comes to them kids, Mike know he can depend on it. He'll tell you she trustworthy, but he also probably, I can guarantee you, he told you, based on how I was moving and things like that, and he understood at the same time, I said when I was at Affinity, and I set up Jose, Jeremy, and Mike. Those were the only 3 people in that motherfucking place that they knew for a fact I liked them. It was rare for you to ever hear me say that I like you. I fuck with you. I fuck with Mike heavy. Even though Mike wasn't there all the fucking time, I fuck with Mike heavy. Jose and Jeremy. Now with Jose, like I said, Jose got the fucking wake up call Christmas. Jose was out there and he would say, he asked me straight up, he said, who's your Ori? Because he kept getting this feeling. Jose Ayala kept getting this motherfucking feeling. He was like, who's your motherfucking Oris? When he asked me that, that's when I knew with him. Who's your Ori? I knew when he would talk shit, and I knew when he had to retract this shit. There's a difference. There's a stench that a person would carry. And when I know a person's talking shit, there's a scent that the person would carry. When it's a woman, my body will do certain things, and it will allow me to know which Orisha they're using. The last one that they recently used was Yemaya. Yemaya rules reproduction, okay? Oshun controls looks, features, which you could cause a person to have an outbreak. You could cause a person to go ahead, lose, gain weight, whatever. But even when you do Oshun will make sure even at the appearance, even if I gain weight and you got a shape, baby, you're going to be looking good to anybody that knows Oshun. You see what I'm saying? And somebody's like, but who do you belong to? Are you Cuban? Are you Dominican? Are you Puerto Rican? Are you it's for me to know and not for you to fucking find out. Mind your business. But know that if I say, go ahead and you deny me, you're denying every fucking Orisha that you ever fucking played with. You will deal with repercussions and consequences. You might get close, but you won't ever succeed. And someone is sitting there like, first you don't succeed, try and try again, right? Okay, try again until you lose your life fucking with the Orishas playing with me. And then for you to be a man and you can't face me, that's one thing to let me know that, hey, you just want that tragedy. I can respect the men that can approach me and apologize. If you took from me financially, don't you know you got it? Whatever you took, you give back so you can go ahead and refrain from the karma that you're getting, because somebody getting eat the fuck up right now. Somebody crying because my baby. You wanted somebody to miscarry, right? You didn't want somebody to have babies, right? You wanted somebody else's kids to get taken, right? You thought it was funny to go make your side dude with your main dude and then try to go ahead and get everybody caught up in your shit, right? And this is someone like, I don't talk to them. I don't deal with them. Josh, you was stupid in the motherfucker, and you don't want to wake up to your own folks planning this shit. You mean to say all them motherfuckers united off of this shit over some money? Is it worth it? But like I said, it BG for you to know. And if you have the dream, EBG, and you go get your proper divination from not relatives or people that you know, go to a different person outside of all of them. EBG, and if they say it to you, stupid, because they're not going to say nothing else, they're going to tell you stupid, it's there. Now, but at this point, I do something today, that's you. That ain't my problem. You will be crying and begging for like 10 years straight, I swear. But anybody that sit here like, oh, she ain't who she said, you could sit there and try to play with my confidence and try to make me feel discouraged, and shit that you could do to make me feel discouraged, because it's about 33 to 39 to maybe possibly 41 of you watching as I speak. And it's like, God damn, I thought we were sneaking. No, you ain't sneaking to do nothing. Thomas was what? One of our people from the White House? One of the people that was running for the position out in Osceola. Actually, I remember, I'm sitting there looking, I was like, damn, why does he look so fucking familiar? I'm looking, okay, that's army decorations. I was like, but where do I know this man from? And I kept looking, but I was like, I know he's Puerto Rican though. I seen him at one of the restaurants. I seen him at Campbell. So I'm just sitting here like, all right. So it makes sense, because I was like, in order for this to work, you had to have these type of connections, right? So I was just like, Shruti, you ain't stupid, because like I said, when it came to Bilal revealed himself without knowing he revealed himself. He's sitting there trying to get at Emily. No, you wasn't going to use Emily in the midst of my fucking presence. And now what she chose to do after that had shit to do, with me. Because with her, I'm a Christian. It wasn't shit that she could convince, because you want to know what? I know what mode to put myself in to make a person give their confession. And once she was like, yeah, I'm a narcissistic, and I just have to just go to your therapy, baby. I ain't never judged her, but guess what? She had a breakthrough and she had a breakdown. And it was just like, how did you do that? It ain't for you to know, for me to find out. The skull with the snake going through the head was her dead giveaway. Oh yeah, I just needed my parents to go ahead and just make sure that you were safe. My brother works in this, and when I say confession, confession, all it requires something simple, and some even down to a fact that with Kendra, I knew what her folks did it, but even her folks was sitting there like they had the elders was sitting there at the table, and they realized it was like once they seen that I went outside when I went to see her family during Thanksgiving or whatever. And they were sitting outside, and we was outside, chiefing or whatever. And they was like, "Dang, what?" And then I remember her reaching back, like, "Such and such was asking for you, and my other cousin was asking for you, like, where you was at?" Da, da, da. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Like, I already knew what was up. The final giveaway was Nunu, Jennifer's folks, and her sister came to get her. That was the final snap when I knew. And then the biggest part of it was when I went to go finish. Well, I didn't get to finish up my tattoo. I think I was on like session 2 that day when I went to the tattoo shop. This is how I knew my tattoo artist dude was involved. The female, the lady with the cancer, that go get her hair done from Ingrid and shit like that. And I remember she was just sitting there talking because she was just in excitement or whatever. Like I said, I have my ways. If I ever serve you something, and then you have to accept it and choosing not to accept it or just choosing to, dismiss it, you're going to reveal to me everything that you do. So meaning basically I can be like, hey, here you go, right? You accept it. And I'm doing it at genuine heart. And you choose to be, oh, thank you. Like genuinely saying thank you, right? I'm open to you. You're open to me, right? You hug me. You're opening yourself to me, regardless of how much you think, oh, I cloaked myself, I shielded myself, which I knew about Eileen, Ingrid, Betty, her daughter. Even though Rio didn't want to be accepted, it got to a point Rio couldn't exist. Rio don't hug fucking people, but one person he would hug, Rita, because guess what? He started feeling better. It was certain sins and shit. He was just like, I can just. Yeah, but then it's like, since I ain't been there, it's just like, damn, we wish we didn't ever did. I wish, okay, we all gonna wish that we didn't ever do certain things. That song from Angie Stone, okay? It's like celebrities to a point where I know what people, it ain't nobody in the industry of no type of industry that don't know where a person could be at, okay? I don't give a fuck if you fucking 50 cents. They can find whoever the fuck they want to fucking find. It's not difficult. That's why I'm like, why am I getting information about the industry? Why am I getting information? I'm only getting information because you're digging into me. You're looking up my name. You're using the social security. You either got equipment, clothes, something that belongs to me personally to do what it is that you're doing. Pictures, screenshots, whatever. But every time that you're looking at it, every time you're giving me more sins. And the more hateful you are, the more secrets and sins. So for every lie you tell, there's 100 truths that I'm going to tell about you. Don't tell no lie about me. I won't tell the truth about you. You want to play gangster. You want to be with car clubs. You want to be in the underworld. Okay, but how she know this stuff? And you trying to come after my life, but you listening to the low life bitches. If anything, anybody in the street, gangs, mafia, underworld would know, like, she won't know this shit. And if she was such a fucking false prophet, how does she know this? But you want to take the person out, and someone is realizing it, snapping to about 4 underground groups of different covens. It's snapping to them. Oh, it was these. It's a bunch, about 10 men that's sitting there like, it's the bitches. You right, it's them bitches. I'm not like them bitches. And I won't ever be like them. Low self-esteem, low self-confidence, self-worth, and feeling like they got power based off the men that they with, not realizing, bitch, get your own shit. Because some of these bitches got to use they man money, which is causing y'all to get cursed with these bitches. So if you was smart, I'm seeing some of them about 3 to 9 of them being real strategic right about now. So like I said, for somebody, you decide to do something, the practitioner, because of course, high life understand what a low life will do. So of course, y'all gonna be the sacrifice of this shit. So anything locally, y'all the sacrifice. That's why I don't really give a shit. It's like, you think you stopping my smile? You think you finna get your NRA crew shit? Even John got smart enough and was like, he know center mass. Hey, break it down. All right. Because this is a motherfucker. I'm pretty sure John from that range that I went to, he was like, yeah, she's going to have a good shot. The thing of it was that I had a problem with when we was doing weapons. This is how I know for a fact that why the Marines did not want me. When it came to weapons, and you can even ask Shaquan Augusto and shit, because even when they had to do that, he remembered that shit like it was fucking yesterday when I was in fucking Fort Jackson, 40 rounds, motherfucking, sitting there saying when I was doing it, right? I'm thinking it because it was my sight, my vision or whatever. But the thing of it was, I'm thinking I'm not hitting the target. I was hitting the fuck out of a target. But it was headshots. Meaning it was not being missed. And I'm sitting here and like, why I gotta keep going? Why I gotta keep going? So I got my first few ranks. It will be like 2 or 3 of them. It was like two or 3 of them. The third one I finally had got it towards the end of the day. But mind you, I think I went to the range maybe like twice or 3 times when it came to, no, I went twice. Because I think if you have to go do it a third time, it's a fail. But I want to say with the gun range, it was only twice at that time. That if you failed the second time, you know, you would have to recycle. And so for me to avoid being recycled, I want to say I went earlier in the day and I had to stay at the practice spot for a cool minute. But when I finally got to the live range and it was time for me to do it, I heard the call and my hearing was really perfect before I got to aviation. And he was like, make her do it again. Now, they were saying this from the thing watching when I was doing it. But I'm thinking they watching everybody else. No, they was watching me. I was hitting the target every time, but where I was hitting it, it kept going through and wasn't going down. Meaning, what's the Marines' motto? 1 shot, 1K. Okay? So with that, on that day, I want to even say that they had invited some old retirees that were from Marines that day. So don't ever sit here and try to play or insult my intelligence like, oh, because we're going to try to play on her condition. You can't play on that. You would not. Like I said, it might just take me a little bit to process it. But when I do decide to process it and you do decide to become my target, oh, trust and believe, I'm observing the fuck out of you to the maximum. Behavior, your movement, shit. I can turn on the news so many times. They always want to talk about, oh, DeSantis did this, DeSantis did this. You know, Rubio did this. His wife did this. Well, keep them coming. Let's go ahead and do some observation. I was like, damn, we ain't got no feed of the churches no more. The churches want to get quiet. They was cool with it. People from the choir and shit like this. What's the girl name? Essence. I used to support her. I forgot her parents' name, but I could see her parents clear as day because when I had my first daughter, Ayana, they used to love having my daughter around. Because I want to say, well, they could have been like Puerto Rican Dominican. That's why it was one lady that when I seen her, when it came to the timeshare or whatever, and when I went to talk to her, and I'm Gomez Gonzalez kid, I'm going to put it this way. He was told straight up to his face from the lady that I spoke to that day because it took him too long to come back after he did the dumb shit that he went to go do. And he came back and she sat there and told him, she said, you're dealing with an angel. You know that, right? She told him about 3 times, you're dealing with an angel. Do her right. You're dealing with an angel. She's a real life angel. It was a guy that did my paperwork that he felt so fucking uncomfortable doing my paperwork that motherfucker went home. And I was telling him about his kids, his life, and all this other stuff. He went home nervous as fuck. The people from Portugal and Brazil and all this shit like that, the Puerto Rican dude and that Dominican lady, them 2 motherfuckers got they was like, yeah. So looking to convince me otherwise, which I know from here on out, it's going to stop. I mean, somebody going to try it all the way up until June. Trust me, I know somebody going to try it. You might get semi-close, but you ain't getting that close. Okay? You won't ever get that close. And it's like, well, we're going to have, this was even worse when I was at that hotel for the police officers, which I got pictures of y'all motherfuckers. So if it come time that they do want to go ahead and get y'all, and they might want to do it in a whole different way, we don't know. I do know, but for y'all to figure that out, because are we covering our tracks? We're doing this. Are you sure? Because y'all been on their radar since I got here in April. And for y'all to go to those hotels, to that whole room, a whole bunch of men, oh yeah, they knew what was up. They knew what was up. The ones that you had next to me and they were shocked and surprised, like, oh, it was her? That's who you had us watch? And I remember dude was really trying to press. He was like, yeah, we're from Brooklyn or whatever, but yo, I'm trying to get at you. Nah, because I already knew what time it was, but I also knew what to do. But he also knew, I was like, yeah, this ain't it. He was like, I got it. So it's a lot of people that's probably sitting here telling you, yeah, she's solid. She's solid. It ain't even like that. Yeah. So to any practitioner, whether you choose to use Italian, Portuguese, Spain, what the fuck ever, just know you might want to stop. Because somebody might have been again in the game for about 30 some years, 46 years or whatever. You do it again. Or you do whatever work this is, depending on which one it is, 6 days. For some of them, the month of June. For somebody, it's going to be 6 days before your birthday or 6 days after. The choice is up to you. But try to get somebody to feel some type of way to make them gain, lose weight. Baby, I was able to accept my body whether I gain weight or lose weight because I still stayed in shape in the best way possible. My skin, hey, I can get her back in order. But it was too many people or entities and energies around me creating disorder. So when you call on Oya, she'll allow you to sit in the midst of the storm. And the energy is so strong, somebody's sitting here like, God damn, it's a man that's been having a dream or been getting confronted. It's like, what you talking about? What you mean? You know what it means. I know what it means. You ain't told nobody yet because you just like, do I? Do I not? But you know, if you're going to do it, you got to ask people way that have no connection to you. Or the people that is connected to any of these people. You have to verify that before. Olumare, a Babalao, whoever. Because you was using Naomi and Alanis and Rizzy and all these other motherfuckers. Like, you would go convince me, homie, Sandra and everybody. There was no convincing me. You was only getting it because of my motherfucking energy. And see, Gil finally waking up to like, shit, it did happen. After the fact that when I spoke to her and then he participated in doing fuck shit with homeboy, that's when the karma hit. He was like, I don't want to go back to her. No, you only got cursed, my love. Due to the simple fact, if you ever get a reading from me and then you attack me, you counteract the blessing. So meaning you come to me, you come listen to my readings, you decide to do hateful shit and you wondering why karma's happened. Why did I lose my credit card? Why did I fuck up my car? Why am I getting arrested? Because you're coming into my energy to come see what I know, right? That's consistent to be getting a reading. And someone is going to learn like, oh shit, that's hot. You're going against me. You wanted to know, right? You just think I want to entertain you. You thinking you being an asshole and a butthole and thinking you doing something, even down to my daughter. Shit, karma's a bitch, ain't it? Try to teach you tough love, right? Still love her. Still love my kid. But you gonna fucking feel it too. So regardless if she got to pay with it, hey, that's the price you pay to want to say what it is that you say without the proper training to go ahead and utilize it with your daddy, your granny, and his fucking dirty ass, dirty foot. You know what I'm saying? Christian Lawrence that had ties to Crystal that whole time. So it's like, there's no convincing him. Never play Thug Life with a true OG. Okay? It's like some of y'all, it's like if you called yourself doing what it is, approach me face to face as mano a mano, a woman to woman. And a lot of you motherfuckers not women enough. You're not grown. This is grown folks business. You in grown people business. And you thinking because what I'm sharing with you, anything I shared with you, baby, that's past. So what I'm doing in the fucking present ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't realize all the little static every now and again is like, God damn, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. So the only thing we can do is try to hack the phone or try to mess with her electrical ports or drain the battery and shut it down. And I'm going to go to her T-Mobile place. Thank you for doing that, because whoever was a dumb dick to go to the T-Mobile place or utilize the Space Force base, I appreciate you. You did your job. You did exactly what they needed you to do and what I needed you to do. And I appreciate that. So creating illusion and delusion is causing you to be delusional because you're confused. What does she know? What does she not know? It's a lot more that she could be saying, but she's not saying. So it ain't safe. If you feel that you want to go ahead and do this, because I would not accept defeat. When Sarah Aragon told me how much he was getting, I was like, well, shit, I ain't getting nowhere close to that. And I know for a fucking fact that I suffered way more than you did. I don't give a fuck if you did fucking 18 or, 16 years. Motherfucker, I did that. But I still had more shit. And plus, I was still a beneficiary of 2 people from the military. So, what you saying? So that's why when I had got that other, I said it makes sense because that was the special compensation I was supposed to have been getting. So they wanted to go ahead and cover it as it was my education. No, that was money that I was supposed to been getting. So then if I decided to go back to school, that's how you're supposed to do it. That also came to show me that what is it called? Voc Rehab via the VA and stuff like that. They supposed to have enrolled me in the program, considering that they went on ahead and changed the rating of my PTSD being at 70% to be 100% on a standalone. Because now this is beyond complex PTSD, because you wanted to intentionally keep certain PTSD to prove the point for Sheridan, Wyoming's therapy purposes. So the Puerto Rican psychologist that was over the program in Sheridan, Wyoming, that made sense when it came to Miranda, Dr. Miranda doing whatever scenario they was doing for the people over there in Puerto Rico. So all that shit, like I could see how y'all was doing that. So it's just like, shit, a lot of y'all get off that fucking perico. Get off that shit. Because apparently it was making you feel brave to the motherfucker. Y'all was doing shit over there and fucking for 20 years in Puerto Rico fucking with people. I'm telling you, let my people go. I am she, I am her. Let my motherfucking people go. Because you not fit to sit here and using Shango, Ogun, Yemayan, Oshun like that. I be damn. I be damn. That's disrespect on the highest one. And then go have it, listen, and you beyond fucking disrespectful trying to bring Jesus up into this. I'll be damn. I promise you I'll rip you to shreds, because for you to ever feel like you doing something and using Jesus' name in vain, I'm going to show you something. Let me show you a little something. And for you to be all religious and you don't believe in reincarnation, that's deep. That's deep. You can play with chakras, but only for it to be successful, you need someone that's Hindu to do it. And even them. Because James gave it away like, yeah, the chakras, when he first would tell like, oh, it's the frequencies. Do you believe in frequencies and vibrations? Once they ask you, do you believe? Guess what? Of course, they can utilize that against you. Frequency, vibration, your aura, chakras. But if you're not aware of them, of course, they can go ahead and do that. If you're not aware of your ancestors or orishas, or you don't acknowledge them, of course you could get away with that shit. If I shut you down and give you under hypnosis for you to not remember, of course you can get away with that shit. But if you wake up the people to understand what it is that they're doing, which is sacred knowledge, see, I don't mind dropping that shit. Are we going to continue to play, or are we going to do the right thing? And I feel like a lot of you are about to do the right thing, because some people is like, I don't want to do this. But for somebody, you're going to try it. That one life should be enough for you to wake the fuck up. So either do right or pay the price. It don't matter to me. You ain't harming me, because it's like, well, we're going to take the kids. We're going to do this. Good luck. Radical acceptance is that if you choose to do that, actually you're doing me a favor. Now, it doesn't take away that I don't love my kids. It's called that I have a radical acceptance that a lot of people in basic psychology does not know how to accept. that do not. My daughters and my baby boy, my Markapoo, my sugar, my bean, my Zora River, my Marky Poo, them my babies. Fucking with them, you fucking with your life. I promise you. Trying to take them away and take them off this earth, I promise you. You gonna get some smoke. You gonna get some smoke that I promise you. You touch them, you touch their spirit, their soul, you try to take them off this earth, I promise you, you will see me. You will see me. But you won't see me coming though. That's the difference. Mess with my kids if you want to. You will see me. Because if Adrian and Ayana don't want to wake up to it, hey, it is what it is. Don't make me love them no less, but it's just going to be is what it is. But mess with them four right there, my Market Poo, my Zuru, my Nina B, and my Sugar Sherry, my Mariah, I promise you going to see me. That'll be some smoke that you won't ever fucking recover from. I give you my word. I give you my word. I might not be in Clarksville, Tennessee, but I give you my word. You will see me. And you won't see how I'm coming for you. I give you my word. It ain't no threat. It's a promise. So even if you feel like that you're going to get a restraining order, you can. You, by all means, please do so. But I'm smart enough to go ahead to stay away. Now, Leah Solomon, Amber Woodard, or Woodrobe, or whatever. That's who you've been using with James Henry Taylor V or whatever. I give you my word. I don't care who the fuck you have in Clarksville, Montgomery County. I don't give a fuck if you call Tommy Meeks. I don't give a fuck if you call Jim Potter, the Vanderbilt children. I don't give a fuck who you call around that bitch. You will see me. And the craziest thing is, are you sure it was me? Or someone understanding like, I go hard for it. You hear me? So if I'm a demon, I'm pretty sure somebody willing to be on demon time for me. Anybody with the Parham Taylor last name or affiliated to Regina or did anything for Regina or off of James Taylor, Jarvis Taylor, Jasmine Taylor, Anthony Parham, if you did anything off the strength of the motherfuckers, let alone if you did any shit for Sheila, Patrick, Carla, Kiera, or Rachel Hooser, Georgetta Anderson, or whatever fucking last name she chose right now, you will feel me. So go ahead and go ask them for the restraining order. I need you to go ahead and do that. You can grant it to them, Judge. Go ahead and grant it to them. Because if they plan, they fear their life. How the fuck they fear in their life if they came for mine? Make it make sense. But I'm getting somebody might grant it to your stupid ass. They gonna grant it to y'all little stupid ass. Johnny Luther, because you went hard in the motherfucking paint for motherfucking Patrick, ain't it? Keitra, if you went on ahead and did that too. Angela. Michael Lawrence Alexander, with your baby mama. If any of you motherfuckers went along with these folks, you will see me. I don't give a fuck if you at your last breath, you will see me. You will remember my face. Fucking with them kids that I named. Touch your hair on them. Let them not be breathing. And if I have to identify any fucking body, you gonna feel me. I promise you. I give you my word, you will feel me. It's a guarantee. So go ahead and sign them warrants or a restraining order or whatever. You threaten them and I'm going to use their social media. But Judge, aren't y'all the ones that helped them participate to go ahead and get away with the shit that they were doing? Wasn't y'all the one that helped them with the sheriff? Because I can pretty sure count on what day that I came and I went to go see my daughters and who dispatched themselves to be over there by the church across the street from that school that day. Records would show. So whatever it is that you choose to delete today, it still already got caught in the system. It's such thing as a cloud, and not even your IT person can do it without a federal state one. So y'all might have been getting away with a lot of shit, but somebody know already if they lose their certificates and certifications to work, the Guardian and Lightem and all them other people that took they cut, Judge Barnes and everybody who took they cut during that time in 2012 and all of that above. Maldonado from De Niro Allen's place. What's the name? Barker from the male's divorce lawyer. Joe is trapped in the closet, motherfucker. I'm fighting for man's right. Yeah, all of y'all are in that swingers club too. But keep playing. Let anything happen to them 4 kids. And I gotta be the last person to know. I'm the smoke, the hell that you will play. Yes, at that point you met the devil. You will meet the devil. If you needed to meet the devil, you can meet the devil. I gave y'all angel and y'all took advantage of it. But let anything happen to them kids that I mentioned. You will see me. Pretty sure not too long. Hey, we wanted to go ahead and give this paper to you. Thank you. So whatever sheriff or police officer or whoever it is that got to give me the paper about restraining orders or whatever dumb shit, if I was you, I would want you to keep that shit in your fucking car and not even bring that shit my way. That would be the smartest thing. But if you feel you got to, we're going to arrest her and we can use this arrest warrant to do what it is that we need to do to carry out. No, you won't. I will not see a jail cell. I will not see one. Because at this point, whatever you're doing is racketeering. Whatever you're doing at this point is invasion of privacy. What you're doing at this point, going ahead and using pattern, the power. Well, I'll say you use a powder anyway. So either way that it goes in a situation, mess with them. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. But fuck with them 4 kids. Fuck with them 4 kids. I dare you. I triple dog dare you to fuck with my motherfucking babies. But for me to go ahead and wake up to realize who was the physical therapist, who had ties to Belize, who had ties to Spain, who had ties to what? I know who was who. Surprise, surprise. Do you value your life? Y'all next move is going to go ahead and dictate what it is. Y'all be careful. Y'all be safe. It's the beginning of the day. Do great things, but don't bring that shit my way. Be safe.